Okay, so hi YouTube. This is part 3 of the IHOP tournament, where you play 2 games on Saturday, and then 2 games the next Saturday, but it's one tournament. I was hoping to play someone higher rated, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta play a 1500. Okay, so this game is another example of I don't know what I'm doing in the opening. I was just losing out of the opening. I was just losing, but I won. I won this shit. So, alright. So this is very, alright. So, okay, so he plays e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. So I used to play this with white, but I would play d4 here, because that was in the Keep It Simple book. I thought that was, like, the only good move here, besides bishop b5. Then he went here, which is a bad move, because you can play knight takes e4, but, like, I don't know. Because I knew this was an idea, because obviously black can fall into the same trap sometimes, which I was aware of from playing this as white. But I don't know, I wasn't really sure about that, if it was good here. If I had just calculated it, I mean, maybe I could have just used my judgment to figure it out. But, I mean, at least now I know it's not going to happen again. It's, again, how learning from playing rather than by, actually studying. But I was like, I don't really know what's going on here. I just like to transpose into, like, an Italian, something I know. But, white's doing fine there. So this game was a pretty educational one for me. So, the knight is on c3, which changes things. I was playing this the same way I would if he had a pawn on c3, but it's a very different position. So last time I got like an Italian in quick, I played a6, but it was, it was good in that position. But Josh said that he would probably recommend a5 most of the time there. But again, I understand this shit a lot better now. Like, I understand why. So I played a5 here, but a5 here doesn't really make as much sense, right? Because if the pawn is on c3, then white's kind of always maybe threatening to play b4 and a4. And a5 stops that. But here, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And since the knight's on c3, I might even, like, play b5 at some point. And my instinct was saying a6, but since, Josh said that I'll probably be playing a5, I was like, alright, I'll play a5. But here, the funny thing is both moves aren't very good. I mean, a6 is fine, but here h6 is what I should be playing, because, I mean, my thinking was I knew that it was an idea that to hold off on playing d6, to see if they play bishop g5, and then play, like, you can play bishop e7 and break the pin that way. So, I mean, that's all I really knew, but I'm not, it's not horrible. I have a solid position, but it's not good. So he plays bishop g5 now, and they played bishop e7. Also, a big difference is h6 isn't always necessary if the knight isn't on c3, but since the knight is on c3, when the bishop comes to g5, knight d5 is going to be a threat. So, that's another important thing, why h6 is good. So here I played bishop e7. I guess I should probably play h6 here as well. Again, okay, this is I learned a lot. I don't regret doing this. So, this diagonal, very important for the next, like, 3 or 4 moves. So my move bishop e7 isn't that great, because he could just play bishop e3 now if he wants to, and he just moved my bishop to a bad square. So, that is definitely something he could do. He just played rook e1, and I played h6, and he played bishop e3. So now he does have this diagonal under control. And, the first move you look at here is knight g4. I wanted to play knight g4, but, I mean, I didn't look at any lines or moves. I was just like, well, he's just going to move his bishop, and then I'm going to have to go back, so what's the point? And he probably wants to play h3 regardless. So it seemed like a waste. However, knight g4, bishop d2, now I put the bishop back on c5. So I'm just moving this bishop back and forth, but it actually makes sense here, because I'm fixing my mistake essentially here. Also, I'm threatening f2, so he has to do something about that. Like, he has to just put his rook back, and then, you know, I play d6, and then I go back to f6. And then, like, it's a very, very similar position before, because we both made such bad moves that just did nothing. So he, like, moved his rook to e1 and then would have to go back to f1. I moved my bishop to e7 to c5, my knight to g4 to f6. But what really has changed is that, okay, he played h3, I played d6, and he played bishop d2, and his bishop doesn't belong on d2. Hold on. They got home from quick chess. We will not be looking at Daniel's quick chess games today because he's already in his underwear and he said, I am not putting my clothes back on. So we don't get to see Daniel's games. Okay, anyway, what was I saying? So that was a whole lot of nonsense, but I do think there's something to learn from that, and understand, like, why we play h6 when we do, why we play bishop e7 when we do. It's just, for me at least, I feel like I can learn from that stupid little disaster. None of that happened. Because I didn't play knight g4. I just played d6 because I'm weak. And he played h3, so now I can't do this. And now I played a4, which Josh said that he liked. He said it was a little alpha zero move. He always says that when I push my a pawn, though. And obviously, if he doesn't play a3, then I play a3, and that would be really, really stupid for him to allow. So he played a3. But now it's like, you know, bishop b5 might be a threat, so bishop d7 seems forced. I'm kind of speeding through these moves, but I was not playing my moves fast at all. I think I spent 10 minutes on bishop d7 for some reason. Because I thought I felt like a4 was a mistake. It might be, but because, yeah, now he has d4, which I didn't realize before I played a4. And this is fucked. So, something I realized, I blundered here. Something I realized was that, okay, before I couldn't play knight h5. I'd like to, but I can't, because if knight takes e5. But, you know, after he plays d4, this doesn't work anymore. Or, like, you know, even if he does this. Because his bishop's hanging out because there's no pawn on d3. So it's like, oh, he can't do that. So I played knight h5, and he did this. And he just went bishop b5. And he was like, hey, you're really dumb. Why did you allow that? And I was like, I don't know. Why did I allow that? Because it wasn't very good before. Like here, it wasn't that great, because I have knight b8, which is very important. Because, you know, if I play knight a5, then I'm blocking my rook. And I would be totally... If he trades this bishop off, that's okay. I'll just reroute my knight to a square. I don't know. Maybe I'll play knight f8 to e6, something like that. I don't know. But I would have been happy there. So, but in this position, knight b8 is bad because my e-pawn is hanging, my knight is hanging, and then my bishop will be hanging as well. So I'm just completely losing. Where I don't know, I'm just much worse here. I didn't know what the fuck to do because, you know, my a-pawn's hanging. He could at any time he wants, he can take on c6 and take on e5. My knight is very loose. It was terrible. So I was like, alright, well, I can't be passive. I have to, like, move a piece forwards. So I played knight f4. And I was fully expecting this move. And then this, and I was like, I don't know, this is horrendous, but I think I can hold this against a 1500. But then he took this pawn on a4, which I gotta say, I couldn't have been happier to see that move. Because it's... Why are you like the a-pawn better than the e-pawn? I mean, whatever you like, but I would say that the e-pawn is a better pawn than the a-pawn, but that's just me. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just play bishop d6, sure. Defend my pawn. Then he trades his piece, and he plays e5. And here, okay, so here's something that I noticed about me recently. So the tactics that I've been doing are like quite difficult, and they're mostly just for calculation. I feel like my calculation skills are getting better, but when it comes to simple tactics, I am missing a lot of shit. Very, like, 1 or 2 move tactics. So in this position, I missed that I could play knight takes e5. I just missed that. Alright. I need to do tactics. That's kind of the, yeah, that's kind of about it. But I played bishop c5. And instead of moving his queen, like, into the center and attacking a piece like I thought he would, he played queen d2. And okay, and now I realized that I had this stuff, but here it doesn't work as well. So, because, this is attacked. Okay, so I played knight d4 here, because now I see the idea. And what I was expecting to happen was bishop takes d7, queen takes d7, and queen f5. And here, if I take here, his pawn structure's not getting messed up. He can take with the queen. And then I'm just down 2 pawns for absolutely nothing. But then a miracle happened. He traded the pieces. He traded knights. And I was like, is he gonna trade queens with me? Is he gonna go into an endgame with me? And he did. He went into a goddamn endgame with me. Not just any endgame. This endgame. So, in a matter of... So in like... 1, 2, 3, 4 moves or something, he traded all of the pieces. This is so amazing. This is what the low-rated players do. He just traded all of the pieces into a completely equal endgame when he was just winning. And you know why he did this? It was because he counted his pawns, saw that he had 1 more pawn than me, and was like, trading pieces simplifies things. Now, that may be true if you're playing another 1500. Not if you're playing, anyone above, I don't know, anyone who's, like, competent in the endgame. The endgame is where chess starts, not where it ends. It's confusing, I know, because end is in the name. But oh my god, you have no idea how excited I was that he just, not only did he trade all the pieces, he let me fuck up his pawn structure. So, okay, I played rook e8, and he takes this pawn, which is like, okay, it's kind of weird. You're giving me this pawn for that pawn, whatever. Then he played rook c4 and offered me a draw. Which is, like a huge sign of weakness. Never ever offer me a draw in an equal endgame. Ever. Alright, I'm down a pawn. But my pawn structure is better and my rooks are more active. Okay? So, I won this shit. I knew I would, too. So, okay. Let's look at some stuff here. Alright. Who is it? Okay. So, I'm down a pawn. Okay, that's been established. Those pawns are dumb. And he might as well not be up a pawn because his pawns are so dumb. If anyone's better here, it's black. I agree. But, you have to be accurate, but my moves kind of play themselves. So here, I would love to play c5 and b5. The only problem... So I played c5, which is the best move. And, I'm restricting his rook and everything. Threatening to play b5. a4 doesn't help stop b5 because this is pinned. But here, I saw he could just play rook b1. Thanks for the raid, Lafong. Yay! I'm showing how I won an equal rook and pawn endgame. Okay, so he played rook... No, he didn't play rook b1. I was annoyed that rook b1 is possible. Because if this is just dead equal. Maybe I can get my rooks active or I don't know, I don't know. But this is a lot harder to win. Because, I could do something like this, play rook f5. Then he just goes f3. So, it's just dead equal. But if I want to try for a win, I have to play c5. And if they don't take on a3, then, his rooks are just getting active, so. But, he just saw that this was defending that, and he just left his rook on a1 for the rest of the game. He played g3, very strong, and just allowing b5. Again, I was very surprised he let me do this. But he plays rook f4. Now I play g5, rook f3, king g7, and now his rook is stuck here because if it moves, then my king's getting in one way or another. b4 is always a move to think about because this is pinned. I guess he wanted his rook on the third rank, maybe to defend that way, play c4, something like that. But you'll never guess what he played here. You'll never guess. This was the most 1500 endgame move I had ever witnessed. I mean, c4 I don't even think is that bad of a move a lot of the time. Yeah, I played b4, but maybe he even goes here maybe, or just rook b3. Like, it's really not that bad of a move. It's completely unnecessary, but his move was a lot worse than that. Okay, yeah, Dennis knows. So rook e3. He played rook e3, which is the most 1500 endgame move in the world. And when I tell you, I wanted to cry, tears of joy, when he played rook e3. What a lovely, comfortable endgame I have now. Because look how fucking stupid his pawns are. They're all so dumb. And mine are all so good. His rook is glued to this pawn. Again, he should probably be trying like rook b1 or something, but in this case it's not as good because I might be winning both of these pawns. One of these two at least. So. Just fucking awful. And if he would take, if he thought for like 5 minutes about like, maybe counting how quickly my king gets to the center, he would realize that because of your stupid pawn on e3, you can never have opposition, so I'm just winning. But I actually don't think I'm winning. The computer thinks I'm winning, but I don't agree. And the more I went down lines, the more the computer's like, yeah, I don't really know how to win this. So I played rook a4 because I would like to play b4, but if I play b4, he has a4, which is very annoying. So I'm stopping that. And here he doesn't really have a better move other than rook b1. I thought he was going to play rook b1 again, but here this position is very difficult for him, because if he plays rook b2, I think I just go f5, and I'm threatening f4. Maybe he gets the rook behind my king is the best way to go, but yeah, this is looking maybe like a win. But that move is, not a 1500 level move. He just moved the king back, which is, I thought, was like resigning. Because, okay, you're just letting me play b4. And you just moved your king backwards. So takes. King d3. This position, I thought I was completely winning, but it's actually not so. Also, the interesting thing is Josh's suggestion to try and defend this endgame. Rook b1 here is what he wanted to do or something. Yeah, and it takes he wanted to play rook b3. So this endgame is pretty interesting. So this is almost like an endgame study. So black to play and win here. Or, yeah. You say I play b4. Okay, black to play and win. I mean, there's other ways to win, but this is, I think, the most instructive way to do this. Only one winning line. The Gordon Ramsay of chess. Well, I mean, it's like, I think I would be more like just like a really fat person, because like I really like chess, just like they would really like food, but I don't really know how to make it. But I enjoy eating it. I like to eat the chess. So if I play f5, he just goes king h5. And then what? I mean, if we play like king e4 or something, take. And if you, I don't know. You have to be careful not to lose now. You actually only have one move that doesn't lose here. So king e4 from the start, you have to see this idea. So king e4, king h5. Now what? King d3 takes. King c3 takes. And then, I don't know, the king here, I guess. Let's not check. And white is actually better here, although it's probably a draw. So that's not working. You're not winning the pawn race. This is quite a cute idea. I mean, if you just play king takes e3 in that position, I don't want to see that. Okay, I accidentally spoiled it. If I just play king e3, it's the same thing. I mean, I'm just promoting my pawn faster. So my bad. I accidentally showed it. So g4 is a double exclam here. And thankfully I showed the arrows, so you can't even guess the point of it, because I already made an arrow. So the point is that if you ignore me, I mean, obviously I just promote the pawn. If you take with the king, now you're down a tempo. So I've won a tempo this way, and I promote way faster than you. And if you take with the pawn, I could have had you guess the move here, because it's still, like, you only have one move not to lose. But I made an arrow. King f3. Very strong move. This is still difficult, though. It's not over. So, if I play something like g5, black to play and win here. It doesn't end. It's very strange that black is winning here. It feels very strange. So if you play something like king takes e3, I play king f6, and we're promoting around the same time. I don't know, here. And this is a draw unless someone hangs their queen. Like if, you know, I go there. So, here, king takes g3, you have opposition. Very important. And now, say e4 happens. King f3 seems like the only reasonable move. Or, I mean, someone said f6. But f6 would be a losing move. So king f3, e5. Now what? If I go here, king f6, there's king f4. Just have opposition, king takes here, and I get to the pawn faster. Also, in this position, I'm thinking f6 is also... Wait, I guess not here. Oh yeah, f6 is also completely winning. Because I get there in time. So, that is... Yep, I'm very sorry I spoiled g4. It was an accident. But yeah, g4, very strong move. But still, I mean, this... Endgames, man. Alright, so, oh yeah, so he went king e2. And in this position, I think it's equal. The computer, like, feels like black is winning, but if you actually play out the lines, it's not clear. So, the way I calculated this, I thought it was completely winning. I missed one thing. So black to play here. Best practical try, at least. I mean, 99 times out of 100, you win this. Against a 1500. Maybe even 100 out of 100. So, first we'll look at B takes a3. King c3, a2. King b2, rook e4, and this looks completely winning. But then he goes rook e1. You go back to a4 and force a draw, or you could try rook c4, rook a1. And yeah, it's not clear how I'm gonna make progress here. If I play king e4, and then here white just plays g4, and I can't ever get the pawns. a winning attempt here, you know, if your opponent's not that great in endgames, if you can win both these pawns, then you can sack your rook for the c pawn maybe, and just win with the 3 pawns. Like, that could be possible in some cases. So I would definitely play on for a while. But that seems like a draw. And, well, my move, I like the way I calculated it, just looked winning. So I played rook takes a3. So I saw takes, takes, here, 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 king d4, king b4, f5, c4, f4, takes, takes, c5, king d5, king b5, and now I promote with check. Which is what happened in the game. But, there is a little problem with this. And I'll also note, you know, if he doesn't take this, if he just plays this, I have f takes g, and this is winning. So he takes. And yeah, if you go here, I mean, I just promote with check. But, white to play and draw, I mean, you only have, like, so many legal moves, it's not that hard to find. Yeah, you just play c6, which was, like, I didn't consider until I was in the car on the way to Chipotle, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, could he have played c6? So I had to get the good old droid fish out and check it. And yep, I allowed c6. And this would just be a draw, because I cannot make progress. It's just rook pawns, and he has opposition. So it was a draw. I just didn't know it, neither did he. So I had to show it to him when I got back. But yeah, I mean, I just saw this, I was like, okay, I'm winning. And then I did a little dance with my queen. And, you know, if he... The problem is he has this. Like, this position oftentimes is a draw, because if I ever actually take this pawn, then it's stalemate. But here that's not a factor, because he has a pawn. Also, my king is so far up, I don't think it really matters if you take these off. I think there might be still a way to win. But he resigned here because this position, I have this. So, I don't know. Not my best game. I played some really, really sloppy games on Saturday.